Train Your Dragon 2 is obviously out in theaters right now, and obviously I just saw it recently with, well, obviously it was lowest on my list, being that I was a little bit skeptical after the first one was fantastic, no doubt, like anybody else could agree on. And after I heard that this was coming out, I was like, I don't know. I didn't really know what kind of material there was to work with, or if there was really a strong point that they can work with at this point. And I was worried that it wouldn't end up like Shrek 2, Kung Fu Panda 2, and so forth. But luckily, thank the freaking Lord, it delivers just like those great sequels. It follows the same path, and all I could say is, yeah, it was definitely worth it. Like anybody else could agree with. It got nothing but positive ratings, and yeah, it was worth it. It really lives up to the hype. Now, the plot, I'm not going to give too much away, and this is try to be, I'll try to be minimal on spoilers here, even though there might be some that, so I must caution you on this one. Obviously, yes, it follows up with the first movie, and just like Kung Fu Panda 2 and Shrek 2, as I said before, those are great sequels. It develops the characters a lot better. Obviously, they're older, and there's more dragons brought in. The visuals are fantastic, just like the first one. The flying scenes are great. The 3D, it's up to you. It was okay. Not really completely needed. I actually saw it in IMAX 3D, and it was pretty cool. It's not really needed. But the visuals, whether it's in 3D or not, are fantastic. It does take a little bit of a darker approach this time around. And the plot's, a little bit simpler this time around, but as I said, the visuals are great, and of course it does bring in new characters, like, of course, Hiccup's mother, and don't worry, it tells the story so well that you don't really, and of course, not to spoil anything too heavily, of course, you see one main character, of course, I should say, dies, but not to give too much away. But the characters are just as likable as before. The story's very good. The pacing is very well done. And it's and as like the first one, it might be a little too scary for kids, even though it obviously tries to be more of a kids movie. But anybody who any adult even would sit through a DreamWorks movie, or eventually watch it when it's on TV or something on the movie channel. I mean, come on, who doesn't? I mean, any adult watch Shrek. Any adult watch the first Dragons movie, or any of the other DreamWorks movies, or even Pixar movies, but so far all I could say is this movie was fan-freaking-tastic. I mean, it was just great. The new characters they're brought in, like I said before, are great, and the dragons are just as awesome as ever. It's just as fun as you remember in the first one. It's a great DreamWorks sequel, definitely recommend it. If you haven't seen it, of course, it came out the same weekend as 22 Jump Street, which I still have yet to see, even though it's also on my list. Obviously, this has just been a very clustered up summer of big movies that I anticipated, but I could only really see so much. But as I heard, that pretty much slayed the dragon at the box office, you can really say that. Even though this, I knew it was going to be a close race between these two movies, but I had to see this one, and from what I heard, 22 Jump Street was supposed to be pretty much just as good as the first one. I worried that it was going to suffer the same fate as Hangover 2, but I heard it really didn't, but not to get too carried away here. But this movie was definitely great. Definitely recommend it. As I said before, if you have kids, it might be a little intense at some points, but if they can handle it, it's definitely a worthwhile adventure. I mean, the dragons, you gotta love them. My final verdict, a Rockin' Wii Remote Wii Motion Plus up, and a plain Wii Remote up. I think that's a fair rating. So, till next time, keep watching.
Get over here!